Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Rani ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Gaura Premanande. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 24, entitled Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva, Text 74. Atedam nityata yukto japan avahitar puman achirat shreyapnoti vasudeva parayanaha. Atedam nityada yukto Japan avahita puman Achirachya apnoti Vasudeva parayanaha Atedam nityada yukto Japan avahita puman Achirachya apnoti Vasudeva parayanaha Ate Japan Achirachya apnoti Vasudeva parayanaha Atedam nityada yukto Achirachya Vasudeva Ata thus idam this nityada regularly yuktaha with great attention Japan by murmuring avahitaha fully attentive Puman a person achirat without delay Shreyaha auspiciousness apnoti achieves Vasudeva parayanaha one who is a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. A devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa whose mind is always absorbed in Him, who with great attention and reverence chants the stotra prayer, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. Please repeat. A devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa whose mind is always absorbed in Him, who with great attention and reverence chants this stotra prayer, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. Purport. Perfection means becoming a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, as stated in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 1-28. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva paramakaha. The ultimate goal of life is Vasudeva, or Kṛṣṇa. Any devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa can attain all perfection, material gains, and liberation simply by offering prayers to Him. There are many varieties of prayers to Lord Kṛṣṇa, chanted by great sages and great personalities such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Lord Kṛṣṇa is known as Shiva Virinchi Nutam, Bhagavatam 11.533. Shiva means Lord Shiva and Virinchi means Lord Brahma. Both of these demigods are engaged in offering prayers to Lord Vasudeva Krishna. If we follow in the footsteps of such great personalities and become devotees of Lord Kṛṣṇa, our lives will become successful. Unfortunately, people do not know this secret. Nate vidu swata gatim hi Vishnu. They do not know that the real interest and the highest perfection of life is to worship Lord Vishnu, Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.531. It is impossible to become satisfied by trying to adjust the external energy. Without being a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, one can only be baffled and confused. To save living entities from such a calamity, Lord Kṛṣṇa points out in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, Bhaunam janmanamante jnanavam prapadyante vasudeva savamiti samahatma sudulabha. After many, many births and deaths, a wise man surrenders unto me, knowing very well that I, Vasudeva, am everything. Such a great soul is very rare. We can achieve whatever benediction we want simply by becoming devotees of Vasudeva. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurun dinatarinam Paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. Text 74, translation. A devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, whose mind is always absorbed in him, who with great attention and reverence chants this stotra prayer, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. We've been hearing the prayers sung by Lord Shiva. And these prayers are summarizing the consciousness with which one should approach the Supreme Lord. Understanding who the Lord is, understanding who one is, understanding this material world for what it is, not what we hope it to be. And in humility, approach the Supreme Personality of God. Lord Kṛṣṇa, he reserves the right to reveal himself. He is not accessible just to anyone, but he has his process by which one can approach. And we have heard many times, Bhakti Mama Bijanati Yavanyas Tatwataha, that by devotion, one should approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Lord Shiva, having given an extensive exposition on the science of Krishna consciousness, really, the form of a prayer, is now defining what is the mindset of a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa. That mindset is absorption, complete absorption. And that absorption means great attention. Maya Shakta Manapata Yogam Madashraya. Asamsayam Samagramam Yata Gyayasi Tachinu. One is requested by Lord Kṛṣṇa that you absorb your mind always in thinking of me. Because this mind is very fond of thinking of so many crazy things. If we had some LED screen on our foreheads, which was publishing our thoughts, even right now in this Bhagavatam class, it would be embarrassing. In fact, the mind is such that if that screen would appear, and then you would be trying, oh, don't think of that. The mind likes to think of the very thing that it is not supposed to think about. Don't think of a red elephant. Mind is trying to think of a red elephant. Of course, in your memory, you will not find a red elephant. It doesn't exist. But the mind is always looking for newer avenues of enjoyment. We want to fire up some new neural networks. Therefore, in the class also, we are very eager to hear something we've never heard before. It was a very good class. Why? Oh, he said something I've never heard before. And so in the world, there are many, many talks, many classes given. And because of this innate quality of the mind to look for newer and newer stimulation, therefore many men and women find newer and newer ways to say nonsense about this material world. Sometimes that nonsense has some value, because this material world in of itself is also the energy of Krishna. And so it is intricate to find your way through this material world. Therefore, universities are there to teach different departments of material knowledge. It's not easy to get through university. How many here have graduated university? Show of hands. It's something worth applauding. Yes. Don't hesitate. However, the Srimad Bhagavatam is such that it gives conclusions about the value of human life and how one should engage one's activity. Srimad Bhagavatam 128 is quoted, Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makaha. Veda means knowledge. So the goal of cultivating knowledge should be Vasudeva. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Kṛṣṇa also echoes the same sentiment. Vedaischa savai aham eva vedya. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So that knowledge which doesn't reveal the source of all knowledge is categorized as ignorance. Ignorance also has its utility. Therefore, material knowledge has its value. However, we are not material beings. We are spiritual. We are eternal. And so if one cultivates only material knowledge, then that knowledge has value in relation to our material, physical existence. We say that there is survival value in having material knowledge. Means you can earn a living, feed the body, and stay alive. However, material knowledge doesn't give value to survival. So you are alive, you are breathing. Congratulations. The dogs and the cats are also alive, breathing. Oh no, I am different, I eat at McDonald's. The devotees think, boo. Even McDonald's is not rated highly even amongst material enjoyers. But eating is common for the human and the animal. But if one cultivates spiritual knowledge, then one understands how to eat to give liberation, how to eat to improve one's actual spiritual welfare. Therefore, without knowledge of Vasudeva, then one operates in the dark. We had a whole kirtan here, very nice, everyone dancing. People go to dance. We were just at the Gold Coast almost a month ago. This was a very important program. It's called Schoolies. So Schoolies, they advertise from the previous year for students to register and pay fees for hotels and all sorts of entertainment. They're graduating high school, so it's a type of moksha. Now they are liberated to go and be free. Uni. Uni is lauded for the absence of parents. So the jiva thinks, now I will enjoy. However, we find that some of these kids are highly disturbed by liberation from high school. Because this moksha takes them away from a life that they've cultivated for a couple of years. So many friends they had a certain identity in high school. Now uni will send them to different places, and some of them anticipating this separation from their normal life and identity are highly depressed. They express this. So they try to drown out this fear of what will come next, this anticipation of losing what has become normal. Although it's a liberation, although the mind may present, now we will have a better time still, because it's within the material realm. The ignorance of not knowing what's next gives them fear. They try to get drowned in intoxication to forget this. However, that forgetfulness is very temporary. And when that layer of forgetfulness goes away, the fear is magnified. Because although artificially I thought I'd forgotten, I was liberated, still my position hasn't changed. So the devotees, we go there because it is said, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakar. There's a big cloud of illusory enjoyment there. Enjoyment is not a problem, it's not a fault. We are Ananda Maya Vyasat. We are pleasure-seeking beings by nature. So, as Prabhupada was once asked, Swamiji, what is the goal of life? That the goal of life is to enjoy. So reporters were shocked because they thought, oh, Hare Krishna means grinding your teeth, trying to control the mind and senses. Thou shalt not eat meat, thou shalt not take intoxication, illicit sex. Or... However, for the devotees, we are being freed from the consequence of such illicit enjoyment, material enjoyment. And because we are absorbing ourselves, hopefully with great attention and reverence, as we chant these songs of freedom. When we chant these prayers that address the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the light of divinity dispels the darkness of ignorance, which means fear. Fear is the symptom of being absorbed in material consciousness. Bhayam dvitiya niveshata syat. Bhagavatam explains, dvitiya, one thinks there's another energy, a second nature, something much more powerful than the Supreme, and therefore fear. Just like the child walking in the city, when they have the hand of the mother, they are happy, skipping around. But sometimes the child, by inattention, lets go of the hand of the mother. And as soon as she cannot feel the hand of the mother, fear, panic, looks around, so many people. Immediately, where is mother, where is mother? She cries out for the child, for the mother. So this is our position. The connection to our Supreme Father and Mother, Shri Radha Gopinath, has been loosened, sometimes cut. And now we are seeing the external world as something separate. Therefore, there is underlying fear, underlying insecurity. Because material nature presents this idea of death. We identify with the material energy, then we identify with the shadow energy. The shadow energy, we've seen, it's now the world of TikTok and Facebook, so many videos. I saw one such video where children, they see their own shadow, and toddlers, and then they panic, they're shocked, who is this? So then they try to move this way and the shadow follows, and the panic increases. The child starts to cry, because there's this thing, when they cry, the shadow also goes, So we get to see that when one is not facing reality, one is facing the illusory energy, temporary reality, it causes fear. It is therefore important for the devotees who represent Godhead. As Prabhupada has written, Godhead is light. Nescience is darkness. Tamasi Jyoti Gama. Tamasima Jyoti Gama. Come out of ignorance, come out of darkness, come to the light, Jyoti. The devotees, if in truth we are representatives, followers of the Supreme Lord, we are meant to take this light of Godhead and bring it into the darkness of the lives of the people of the age of Kali. So we have December Book Marathon. These books are none different from the Supreme Lord because they are the words of the Supreme Lord. On Sankirtan, sometimes people challenge that we are idol worshippers. You've ever been called an idol worshipper? You feel good? It's comme ci, comme ça. For us, we understand that they don't understand the deity. They don't understand that this is the Lord. So by saying idol, they sort of equate it to some war hero statue that's in the middle of the city that is definitely not God, and we are worshipping some sort of idol. But to help them understand in relation to the books, we make the point, oh, Mr. Muslim, you think this Quran is holy? You say, yes. Oh, Mr. Christian, you think the Bible is holy? Yes. Written Holy Bible or Holy Quran. But if I burn it, why do you become upset? If I burn, this is just paper and ink, isn't it? So why is it holy? It's just paper and ink. You are also idol worshippers. You worship this book, which is made of paper and ink. Anyone? Christian? Why is it holy? They say it's the words of God. So that means the words of God are none different from God. If God is all holy, then his words are all holy. Therefore, the book then ends same reverence as God. We definitely put it on the altar. We can worship Srimad Bhagavatam. There's stotras for worshiping, installing Bhagavatam, because it is none different from the Lord. So this distribution of these books is distributing Krishna, Vasudeva, for giving the deity to people. And this is a special deity because it speaks about all categories of knowledge. Therefore, this deity is Purana Dunoditaha. Because now the people of Kali, Nasta, Asia, darkness is blinding us. We cannot see in the dark. So this light, when Krishna is left, Krishna Swa Damo Pagate Dhamma Dhyana Dibisaha. When the Lord has left, at the beginning of Kali, he left behind this Purana, which will act like the brilliant sun and give vision to the people who are groping in the dark in Kali. So we should consider these points, that it's not just how to beat my friend, sell more books, win the marathon. These days it's also difficult to win the marathon if you don't have connections. For many years, one of our managers, he won the marathon before the marathon started. Because he will call all his Hindu connections and they would sponsor X amount of books. So the books are already sold. Then now he just has to find ways to give them out, to give us more books. No, don't worry, even if they don't give much donation, just give them the book. And then at the end, when the scores came, who won the marathon, he didn't leave the temple, he's managing the things, but he won the marathon. So it should not just be about winning. However, for us also, we should meditate on what we are giving, who we are giving. And in this way, the marathon is an opportunity of absorption in distributing the Supreme Lord to the living beings. In these books are such prayers as we've been hearing from this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, making the point that Lord Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It says here, Shiva Virinchi Nunam, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhagavatam 11th canto, to underscore the point that Lord Shiva, certainly great devata. Lord Brahma, certainly great authority. But they are also testifying as to the identity of Lord Kṛṣṇa. They've offered prayers. Chintamani prakarasadma sukalpa viksha. Lakshmi sahasra satasambrahma sevyamanam laksha vitesha suravi abhipalayantam govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. Famous prayers offered by Lord Brahma in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma himself, his body is made of intelligence. He has 4 heads. So he has quite a high compute power. However, he could not understand who he was, where he was, and what his duty was. And he tried by his own ability to figure that out. He went down the lotus stem, he could not find the end of it. Then he went back and sat in meditation. In that meditative trance, establishing that the actual knowledge which is needed, jnana dipena bhashvata, that knowledge which dispels the ignorance of the heart, is not external. Srila Prabhupada quotes here, Prahlad Maharaj, Nate vidu swata gatim hi Vishnu, rashaya ye bhaya atmanina, yataya andai upaniyamanas tepisya tantra, uru dhamni bhada. That living beings don't know what is their actual self-interest. Where is our welfare? Why? Bahi atamanina. Bahi means external. We are external facing. We think atha, our welfare, is in this material world somewhere. Those who are in Pakistan or India or South Africa are thinking, if I go to this country and that country, my life will be better. Or if I come to Australia, this is Swagaloka, my life will be better. You speak to some Aussies, they think, nah man, I'm tired of this country, it's all gone to hell, mate. They think if they went somewhere else. So, bhai atamanina, thinking our welfare is in adjusting something in the external environment. That's the whole crux of the education system. How can we adjust material nature to usher in unlimited happiness? They're always touting some future. We're entering the 4th industrial revolution. They said that, And now 5th industrial. No, 5th, used to 6th, 7th, AI age. No, we're going further and further into some sort of enlightened state where this human form of life is recognized to be not sufficient. Transhumanism. We're upgrading humanity. We have to download this consciousness and then upload it to the cloud. And then by some cryo-freezing process, we'll keep this body because you are this body. No, you're not really fully this body. We need to put synthetic limbs in it. Therefore, in the future, because you cannot see through this wall, we will fit eyes that can see through the wall, that have got night vision. We'll give you some prosthetic limbs. You can't run as fast as the jaguar. All sorts of, it sounds preposterous, right? But yes, people who are invested in material life think, yes, we're going to Mars. Who wants to go to Mars, really? I mean, you can say it's a safe space if you want to go to Mars. It's already advertised as some red, dusty planet. No, we will take things there and we will modify the weather, because we're not modifying it here. It's not really But we will modify it there. We will seed the clouds and then, get rain, and somehow the land will give some vegetation. Hey, Baba, we already have vegetation here. Why you want to go and... No. We are advancing. So we have to take all the junk here. We'll start by making tents there. Hey, I already have a house. I paid so much money at this. No, we will make tents that are eco-friendly, this, that, resistant. But because people have no broader vision beyond material existence, it's better than nothing. You have to look forward to something. So a lot of the money is being used, hard-earned tax, to subsidize and to give out in contracts to the already extremely too rich. No person should be $600 billion worth. It was being celebrated, Elon Musk, as $600 billion. Somewhere they say, well, the real evaluation is the first trillionaire. How foolish. How foolish. Even the use of hard-earned money becomes plundered and misdirected by the enjoyment spirit. He may just uncover some new aspects of enjoyment. Therefore, yes. Upload us to the cloud so that we can put neural link into our brains so we can enjoy at the speed of computers. Nonsense. But when we're in the darkness of Maya, without the light of transcendental knowledge, we have no scope to understand that there is a spiritual world which is already synchronized to our pure desires, that any desire is fulfilled. Chintamani dham, kamadhenu trees. That means everything the living being desires is immediately facilitated. And there we are dealing with Krishna, who is Ananda Murti. He's the form of all blissful things. With spiritual senses, there is no limitation to what we can experience. But who will desire that if they have not heard of it? Therefore, with great attention and reverence, we who have been exposed should meditate and hear these glories of the Supreme Lord and desire to go there. Otherwise, what happens? The blind are led by another blind man, and therefore they all fall into a ditch. All these leaders who are blind to the goal of life, to enjoy with Radha, Krishna and their associates, they are like blind men, and they are leading hordes of others, blind people, simply to Yamaraj's abode. Yamaraj is waiting. He said, yes, Baba, you didn't read the book Coming Back? Then you have to come back. And if you have been mischievous, then you even lose the human form of life. So here it is made clear that true success, the word used is the greatest perfection of life, is not some accumulation of material assets, but this greatest perfection of life is in relation to attaining the relationship with the Supreme Perfect. It is based on identity. When we are again identifying correctly as the loving servants of Krishna, this is perfection. Mukti hitvanyata rupam sarupena vyavastiti. Mukti, actual liberation, perfection of life, is to be reinstated in one's original identity, one's original relationship with the Supreme Lord. So that should be the aspiration of the devotee. How do I get my relationship back? They have shows where people write in, oh, I lost my beloved. And please help me to contact them so that I can try to mend the relationship. So that's already embarrassing, that you were relieved of your service. I don't want your service anymore. I'll find someone else to engage in my service. And then you have to go and beg again. Oh no, Mark, please, Elizabeth, I will be a better servant this time around. I will be more attentive. I will take your feelings into greater consideration. I will give quality time. I will learn your love languages like a science. All of these are meant for Krishna. Great attention, reverence. Learn Krishna's love languages. Give quality time. But there we go there, and it's live on TV or internet. People are coming to ask to be taken back into Margaret's service and Viresh's service. And then sometimes they're rejected again. No, I've moved on. Sorry, cannot get your service back. Embarrassing. So mature energy embarrasses the eternal spiritual being. And spiritual knowledge, it glorifies us by connecting us to the supremely glorious personality of Godhead. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada quotes how Lord Kṛṣṇa to help us is written, it is impossible to become satisfied by trying to adjust the external energy. Without being a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, one can only be baffled and confused. To save living entities from such a calamity, should note these words are downloaded directly from Kṛṣṇa through Prabhupada. He said, I didn't write these books. Kṛṣṇa is dictating them. So, being baffled and confused is not a wonderful thing. They have places for people who are baffled and confused for too long. They have nice white suits. You can wear white dhoti, you can wear that suit. And so the Lord, to save us from such a calamity, remember, you are an eternal, divine part and parcel of Krishna. Mama Vangso Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Now, I'm thinking I'm this bag. Oh, where was it born? Viva South Africa. Viva India. Jai Bharat. Everyone thinks the land of birth is worshipable. They're ready to fight and die for it. What a calamity. Who is ready to fight and die to reawaken their true identity? To get the greatest perfection of life? Where is that hero? Where is that activist? This is what Prabhupada is campaigning for. This is the compassion of a pure devotee. And he says to save the living beings from such a calamity, Lord Kṛṣṇa points out, Bhaunam Janmanamante, Janavan Mam Prabhadyante, Vasudeva Savamiti, Samahatma Sudulabha. You want to be prominent, stand out. You want to be a hero. You want to do that which has not been done. This is the hero's quest. Try to be this rare soul. Become a Mahatma. Understand that already, Bhaunam Janmanamante, we've been chewing that which has already been chewed, lifetime after lifetime. Trying to serve in this species on that planet, this family, this community, and still baffled and confused. But if we understand Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramaka, Vasudeva Paragyanam, Vasudeva Paratapa, Vasudeva Parakriya, Vasudeva Parayoga, that Vasudeva Kṛṣṇa is the perfection of knowledge, is the perfection of Kriya, fruitive activity, perfection of yoga, mystic processes, perfection of tapa, so much austerity. I asked earlier those who've graduated university, please raise your hands again. Why we were clapping for you is that you've taken tapasya. It's not a cakewalk. Yes. All these Red Bulls and Monsters and coffees are selling a lot because people want to stay awake. Buddha Kesh. They want to defeat sleep and study very hard. Tapasya. From grade 0, now they have grade 0, some countries, till whatever it is, winter after winter, we went to these schools, listened to the teachers, wrote these tests, submitted assignments. Tapasya. Only to get a piece of paper. And then once you have that paper, you have to go and beg. I'm a very good servant. I work well in teams. I can multitask. I know a few languages. I can work overtime. So many. And being humble than a blade of grass. We were chanting, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahisnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Kirtaniya Sadahari. This is the goal of life, where we are chanting the glories of the name, the qualities, the form, the pastimes of Krishna, which are Anandamaya. They are living, full of bliss. Anandam Buddhi Vadanam, ever increasing in their ability to give joy to the heart. It has to be approached, but we need this humble, like a blade of grass, tolerant, like a tree. But we are applying this humility to trying to acquire material knowledge, to impress some prospective employer. Oh, I'm such a sweet guy, actually. I'm very lovely. Once you get to know me, and we will tolerate whatever contract they give us, we sign. T's and C's. 10 pages of a contract. People study these contracts. Company policy. Very, very clear about company policy. So Bhagavatam says there is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than to think other subject matters more pleasing than one's own self-realization. If we think there's something else more important than our own Krishna consciousness, Kirtaniya Sadahari, if we think there's something better than this, it's a great calamity. Because there you don't need some outside force to stop you. You yourself think there's something else better. So therefore the devotee is saving us from this calamity. Because this knowledge reminds us of the truth. You will get this boss, you will get this policies and down in your head, and still you make one small mistake, letter of warning. HR has got you there. Then you have to transmigrate from one job to another. It is embarrassing. As long as we think this is glorious, I'm becoming accomplished, I'm somebody, this is a prisoner. You're in a jail, and you think that you're making advancement in jail. Of course, you know, one eye is better than two. That's false logic. One eye is better than no eye. So yes, I have 5 hours of yard time. Before I only had 2 hours of yard time. Yard time is in the prison. Sometimes you're locked and then they give you a chance to go see the sun. So of course, amongst the criminals, oh man, you've got 5 hours of yard time. Aren't you so fortunate? The warden is Mahavadanyaya, most munificent. So we are followers of self-realized souls. We should not become rascals and fools thinking material life actually has something to offer us. So these books are for us to understand this reality and are for us to then share it with others. If we are also thinking they've got something going on, we are also aspiring for this so-called advanced prison life. Mudoyam nabijanati yogamaya samavita. The fools and rascals, they cannot know me, Krishna. I have a curtain of Maya separating me from their vision. And our Acharya is no fool. Lord Shiva is no fool. Brahma is no fool. Shukadev Goswami is no fool. If the disciple is foolish, how do you understand the tree? By its fruit. So we embarrass our acharyas. For devotees are most important. They represent truth. They represent enlightenment. They understand what is Paramgati, supreme destination. Prabhupada concludes his purport by saying, we can achieve whatever benediction we want simply by becoming devotees of Vasudeva. When Prabhupada says one line in these books, life problems can be solved, it means this. If we could read this book, read this one line, and meditate on it, and pursue what it says, life is perfected. If we can believe this, we can achieve whatever benediction we want simply by becoming devotees of Vasudeva. This is big time. This is major leagues. Anything you want by becoming a devotee of Vasudeva. Oh, Mukti, Mukti. But Mukti said, folding her hands behind Bhakti Devi, ready to serve anyone who has the blessings of Bhakti Devi. That means if you are liberated from this world already, whatever details of this universe, whatever it offers is already achieved because you've gone beyond. If you have $100, you've solved all your $50 problems. So if you have Krishna, you have everything. He is everything. And Krishna is like a desired tree. He fulfills all desires. He is known as Mukunda. He will give liberation. So the goal is set. Now we have to pull together towards this goal by picking up the right attitude. Chinadapi sunichena, taro ivasa isnuna, amanina manadena. That is the attitude of the devotee. Mahaprabhu said, string this verse as a garland and wear it. Then our association becomes fantastic. Together we can serve Prabhupada happily. And then, because Krishna is in charge of us, he will give us exactly what he wants to give us. We don't have to worry. It's up to Krishna, where he takes his devotee, what service he gives his devotee. I am your servant, you are my master. You do with me as you please. Kantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. We may have gone over time. I don't know your policy. Hare Krishna. All right. The future is bright. There is Krishna Prasadam coming next. Or if there's anyone with something urgent, we have also Sonis Vishnu Maharaj here. We can probably answer your questions. Hey, Harinamananda Prabhu. Yes. Prabhupada said, no lazies and crazies, you know. And he said, even if we have too many crazies, then the intellectuals won't come. But somehow or the other, whether we're lazy or crazy, some service is there, and that service needs us to be attentive, to be engaged, absorbed, try to adjust. You know, books were ordered, they are printed somewhere, they are transported, somebody has to cook, clean. We had to drive up, you know, from Melbourne, Albury, Canberra, now we're in Sydney. So it looks like the devotees are also involved in trying to adjust with material nature. Yes, it may look, but externally, yes. But internally, there's a difference. Because the devotee has a motive to serve Guru and Krishna. And so all this adjusting that one is doing, if the intention is to serve the Lord, his devotees, that is already spiritual engagement. And more especially, you're saying we ourselves may not feel that, is this Krishna consciousness? Because sometimes we're flat out working hard, right? Devotees feel like that. Like one brahmachari, we were from Sankirtan, and in the van, he kind of fell asleep. He was so tired. But anyway, he had a bad good habit. You make your own judgment. He'd wake up like at 1:30 and chant very loudly, disturb all of us. I used to think, oh, I'll never make it in Bhakti. I cannot wake up like this man. But when we went on Sankirtan, then he didn't want to partner with anyone so that he can go find a place and sleep. So he's always tired. It wasn't practical for him. So this day he's tired in the van. We got to the temple, we're walking up. When we woke him up, he woke up, hey man, can't you see I'm sleeping, We're not even getting paid for this. This was his line. He realized that he's working hard, he's not getting paid. So sometimes we are feeling like this. Sometimes you're preaching and your preaching is a bit isolated. In some other place, slogging it up. You don't get no letter or call from GBC or temple president or this or the other. And you think, am I still really working for Krishna? Yeah, or am I better off just go get a job and work for me? So it is always a matter of looking at our intention. For whom are we doing this? Is this so that I can be seen to do something? My name and fame can, or am I trying to please or fulfill the order of my guru, the order of the parampara? So motive is very important. So we should always introspect and see what is the intention for what we are doing. Otherwise, yes, it just becomes like any old work, except they're not paying me enough, or they're not paying me at all. Yeah. But if they're recognizing us, we can also get bewildered by that sort of payment. Oh, they give me gardens. I'll do this. Or they're giving me allowance. Okay, as long as I like the allowance, I'll do it. But it should always go deeper. That this is some service I'm trying to render. I'm Krishna's eternal servant. We can ask the absorbed devotee, Vishnu Maharaj. The question was, so if you are absorbed in Krishna consciousness, what does that absorption look like? Are you meditating on Krishna's pastimes, and what's the consciousness there of the absorbed devotee?
Just trying to please your spiritual master. Or Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, whoever it is, you're just trying to please. That's the absorption.
Go Premanande. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpa.